Hey everybody, this is me, Danny from Abigail's Table. I wanted to share something with you. Um, Christmas season, the holiday season, New Year's season is a great season. It usually brings in a whole bunch of joy in this season. And I love this season for real. I really do because it brings in this arena of joy. And so I wanted to say that although you have joy, there are some people out there who aren't having a good time. They aren't having the best time because they've lost someone or lost some things. I think about a guy at my job who lost his mother at the beginning of this month, and he was found, or he was found with a very shift in his mind. He had a very hard time dealing with the loss of his mother. I mean, at the time we were talking to him, we just thought he just had his mom, but he had his mom. After we finished talking, he had his mom, he had his sister, he had a stepfather, he had a grandmother. There was so many things that he had, but we only knew about his mom. I wanted to say this. God had led me to the book of Job before I even met him, well, not met him, but seen him. He led me to the book of Job, and reading that book really touched me. It really kind of stirred up some things in me, because you look at Job and God says, consider him, consider him, consider. Have you considered my servant Job? Have you considered him? And you would think that when God said, have you considered him, that whatever you're saying to consider him for, he's already got it in the bag, right? But he said, have you considered him? And Satan's like, well, I would consider him, but you have your hedge of protection around about him. And God removes his hedge of protection, and then his servants come to him and say, I was the only one who was there to get out. I was the only one who got out alive. I was the only one who came back and to tell you these things were going on. So the last thing that the serpent came to tell him was that his children were gone. 10 children. 10 children were dead, and they had passed on. He had 10 kids, and all 10 of them had passed on at the same time. And at that moment, he went on his face. And many people have preached this message so many times. But what I wanted to say is the thing that really mattered, the thing that I really looked at, the thing that really popped out to me was that Job worshiped God. That first moment, when he heard about the loss of his children, he decided to worship God. I'm like, how do you worship God knowing that you lost 10 kids? He shaved his head, he wrenched his clothes, and he worshiped him. That's amazing. For you to go through so much pain, to go through something like that and worship God, it's amazing. That is amazing. I don't know about anybody else. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know the things that you're dealing with right now. I don't know what you lost. I don't know. But if you can find yourself at the feet of Jesus, worshiping him, I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that is the most beautiful thing that you can do. If there's a hard season for you, if you're having a hard season, and I've had hard seasons, and I found myself on my face worshiping God, if you can do that in that moment of hard times, of losing someone, losing your son, losing your daughter, losing your mother, losing your father, if you can find yourself worshiping God instead of complaining, if you can find yourself at the feet of Jesus instead of complaining, I think that that's a beautiful thing. It is the most beautiful thing, because he could have chose something worse. In the next chapters, he began to break out in boils and sores, and took the scraps from a pot and scraped them. And along the story, he begins to complain, Lord, I wish I was never born. Close the dark hole, like do this, do that. And he complained all the while. The first thing that he did was the better thing. the first thing that he did was the better thing. And I think about some things. I think about the loss of my father. I lost my father 3 years ago. And each year around Christmas, we think about him. His birthday was Christmas Day, right? And we visit his grave and we think about him on this day. And it becomes hard because the year that he passed away, I remember my sister saying, saying something like, I cannot believe he's not going on in the next year with us. And I had to leave my service because that statement broke me. That broke me down. To hear her say, I can't believe he's not going into the next season with us, was amazing. But I made it through. Whoever you are who are going through, who's going through right now, you've lost someone. And I can't think that it's just a jolly season, right? I cannot think that this is a all jolly season. You know, some people are really going through something. They're really going through some things right now. But if you can choose to worship him, if you can choose to worship him in this moment, whatever you're going through, if you can choose to worship the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, in this moment, I think that's a beautiful thing. So I'm done. If I don't have anything, I can't give you anything. So I love you to life. Have a good holiday in spite of it all. In spite of it all, have a good holiday. Find yourself at the feet of Jesus in spite of what you're going through. So I love you to life. Peace be with you.